All right, Jeremy, I want you to give me three pieces of advice that will make me better at cold outreach. You only have three things you can share. What are you going to say? That's today's episode. We're going to kind of go one and then the other. So you're going to get Jeremy and I's top three outbound sales, you know, nuggets, if you will, out of a reasonably short episode.
Hopefully very actionable, right?
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. It's like, okay, okay. If if
It's gonna
like
be
we
stoic
were
stuff, like you read
no,
between the lines. What did he mean by
not
that?
necessarily. Let me think.
My one will
Like
be.
um okay, like if I said, when it comes to military decision making, trust yet verify. Like, okay,
Follow your gut.
okay, but anyways, I'm digressing. Let's actually put 10 minutes on the clock
There you
and
go.
get ready to share our three. I'm just gonna like jump right into it, Jeremy. Ready
We
for
got
my
a
number
new
one?
timer.
It's a good one.
I don't know.
The time.
Yeah, go for it. What do we
Okay.
got?
The number one thing you need to know about outbound sales is the harder it is to build your list, the easier it is to get a reply.
I love it. I love it.
Get that right. I mean, if you're in Apollo building a 40 cent list, so are your competitors, and you're going to be in a sea of competition. Then again, if you're reaching out to people that are in your city that know the same people, they're maybe like they know your client knows it, right? So your job as the cold outreach person is to find those pockets where it's a harder list to build, but it's just shooting fish in the barrel for a reply. Um, Otherwise stated, Gary Halbert, favorite copywriter, hands down. He said, "I'm selling hamburgers. You're selling hamburgers. I want one advantage. I'll give you any advantage to match mine, but if you give me my advantage, I'll beat you every time." His advantage is give me a starving crowd, and I'll outsell you with my hamburgers all day long, even if you have the cheapest meat, the best beef, whatever. So find your starving crowd. Number two, when you're writing messaging, talk about your prospects' challenges, their pain, instead of your solution.
Ah, that's a good one. Should have thought of this one. So
Yep.
easy to miss, especially when you're starting.
Yeah. So that's why I said like that is actionable, but it's not really like something you could just, okay, I'll do it right now because you need to put some thought into it. Number three.
But
Okay.
hold on, if I may,
Yeah.
you may actually just ask, just look at all the I in your text and see, if it's very I centric or you centric type of thing. That's an easy test. The other
Yeah.
thing is you could ask Claude or ChatGPT to actually just rephrase it in the recipient's
No,
benefit.
you can't do that
No,
because if you write in Claude, we have the fastest, most reliable servers, in the industry. It's really hard to have it come
in
back to
guide.
a pain point.
Yeah,
Exactly right. So I would probably say, like, think back to the sales conversations that you or a team member has had that the light bulb goes off. That's my favorite question to ask new clients is like, oh, like tell me a story about when maybe someone on the fence said, all right, we need this. What were they struggling with, and start there. Okay.
I love it.
Number three, so let's
Mhm.
say you spent time, really worked on your hard list, and you're very proud of it. Point number three says that even if you have a great list, not every prospect is created equal. Your job, once again, is to prioritize that list and find the sub segment of prospects that are deserving of a disproportionate amount of your resources, both on the personalization that you add and on the offer they receive. Some prospects deserve nothing than a Loom video link that's not customized. Take a look here and self-serve your way if you want it, pal. Others, I'll fly to Boston and we're going to have a steak dinner. We're going to talk about doing business together. Your job is to never forget that not all prospects are created equal.
Yeah, it's very true. The flying to Boston is the one at $49 a month, right?
I guess if you're flying Spirit, then No, but those
It's
are my
very
three.
good.
Those are my
Those are
three.
very good. Very, very good. Okay, I have a slightly different tackle or different take. I think for me, the first one will be don't do it yourself, actually. I will say that, place one person at each role. That could be, for example, copywriter, campaign manager, list builder, reply handler, and only do review because otherwise you're gonna burn out very, very quickly. Um, and then yeah, it's basically a typical case of who, not what, right?
Okay. Okay. And if it doesn't work, what do you do?
Well, once you got those, then you'll be able to, in theory, see where the bottleneck is, right? The reply handler has nothing to do is because the other one before actually didn't do their job
True.
properly, right?
Fair point. Fair
So
point.
then you'll actually be working on the cold outreach instead of in the cold outreach, and it will give you a better visualization as to where things are falling apart.
I like that.
Right.
I like that.
So that's one way. The second way we could be used before, that's my second point, could be used before or after, is you actually hire Jack or another agency and you basically ask them to teach you how they're doing their cold outreach or to improve your existing one, right? And then you basically just pay them to actually just improve your stuff. So you
Got
don't
it.
need to
So it's
develop your
almost
own skills.
interesting. So you could, in theory, like have no idea what you're doing with cold outreach, but you have the team in place and you have a consultant come in, turn some knobs and track progress. And if it's trending that way, you're working on it, not in it.
Yep, absolutely. And you could, I mean, if you have like money and way to play, which is typical, for example, for a founded, startup or whatever, you'll get multiple people doing the list building or multiple people
Right.
doing the copywriting, and then you
Or
basically just,
multiple agencies
or multiple
doing the
agencies,
same thing.
absolutely.
Right.
Right.
I mean, it doesn't happen a lot, but I do have startups. They're hands down
Nice.
always well funded. And they say things like, hey, we want to give you guys this territory. And we're giving three other agencies like, Canada, Europe, and you guys got this part of the US. And we want to test a bunch of stuff. That is the fastest way to test stuff.
Yep.
I like that.
Nice. And the third one, I didn't really find a good one, but I figured out, okay, what are some of the things that people can improve if they already have a campaign running, if they already have a system running? I would say just pay attention to things that people don't pay attention to most of the time. That could be a really nice signature with some interesting links, some case study links in it. That could also be a YouTube video for having the thumbnail. There's a lot of things that people can do with the signature that are completely ignored, or that could be the follow-up. Those are two areas that are like completely oversight. And follow-up would be, don't repeat the same thing, try to find a different angle, try to find. I tell you one that works very well for us, for example, like we're first reaching out and say, hey, we have one of the best cold outreach software. If you're a data nerd, or if you actually want to figure out where things are falling, whether it's in the in the deliverability space, is it this type of inbox, this type? So we got all those stats here. Um, Damn, I lost my train of thoughts. Um,
You're talking about focusing on things that people don't focus on,
yeah, the
different
follow-ups.
areas.
Oh, I tell you about what we're doing. Sorry. So that's the email number one. Sorry, I lost some time. And then in the follow-up, we say, okay, fine. Maybe you want like a Loom video. Like I can send you a Loom video, like about showing you some of the part of the software or how we're solving maybe deliverability. And then the third one will be, look, we're also promoting agencies on our directory of agencies to our clients, right? Would that actually make sense to have you on this? Like, it is already like a different value proposition all the time. And I think way often people are just like having their nail on their hammer. So that would be my third point.
So it's kind of like think about, it stated another way, could it be like pay a lot of attention to the offer and see
Or
what creative ways you,
vary the offer on the CTA as your follow up. Like try to tackle under different angle. The cold outreach
yeah.
because the front door may not work, but there may be like plenty of other doors that will open if you explore it a little bit.
I had a throwaway one that kind of plays into that, Jeremy, and that was your prospect on your list right now, even your great list, has already been hit 100 times by your competitors. What makes you different? What
Yeah.
makes your message special and worth their time and response? Like,
And those are
uh,
hard. Those are hard
does it
questions.
pass? Does it pass when you phrase it that way? Like, they you, your competitors are 0 for 80 with this individual. Are you
Okay.
giving it your best shot right there? And I think that's going to come down to the offer you present, potentially timing, but that's such a hard thing to get right. I will say, like, did you match the message so that it feels like it really is for them? I'm not talking about first line. I'm really saying, like, do you have the relevant case study? Or are they going to see this as like a run of the mill? I get this kind of crap all the time. And is it like the best person at that account to receive that message? That these kind of questions will help nudge you in the right direction. But Jeremy, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
6, I would consider maybe 7. Real worthwhile cold outreach, like actionable things there. So
Yeah, there was a
great
bit of
episode,
both
man.
strategy and action. So that's good.
That's right. All right. If you're still watching, that's Jeremy at quickmail.com for the platform for sending not just cold email, but LinkedIn messages too, like the best of the best agencies out there. And salesbread.com will do it for you, especially if you like the sound of getting 1 lead a day. And for everyone else, there's course.quickmail.io that will teach you our tricks. And with that, Jeremy, I will catch you next time, my friend.
Thanks, Jack. Appreciate it.